I'm about that life, keep on trying. I'm about that life, never quit. I'm about that life, keep on striving. I'm about that light, keep on pressing. I'm about that light, keep on shining. I'm about that light, keep on dreaming. I'm about that light, never stop. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. You know, they say I'm dreaming. Yes, I'm dreaming. So what? I don't care.
She's about that life.
I'm about that life. It's a dream thing, y'all.
Today on About That Life, I sit down and talk to actress, model, and budding screenwriter. She stars in the movie Witch Blossom. She has appeared on several episodes of the very popular YouTube series Darman. She has modeled for many magazines such as Elegant Magazine, and she's in pre-production of a short film of her own. Here is Sarah Noelle. All right, Sarah. Thank you for sitting down and talking with me. I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy that you all have come back for season 2. I feel like I'm much more ready to interview and be more, relaxed, talk to my friends. So, Sarah, I want everybody to know how we know each other because that's kind of the thing is that I sit down and talk to artistic people that inspire me, people that I've worked with, people that I yearn to work with. So, Sarah, we know each other from Disney.
Yes, we do.
And how long did you work there?
I worked there for 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were a trainer for me. That's how we first met.
Yeah.
You were so sweet to me. And I was already so nervous coming into the department. And you made it so easy for me. So I always wanted to tell you that, but I'm going to do it now.
Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Yeah. And I mean, because that's the reason why I love working at Disney is because of people like you. You've made my experience going into it very warm and welcoming.
As it should be.
Yeah.
As everything should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. But other than working at Disney, you're a serious actress. Mm-hmm. What drew you to be an actor?
Well, I really wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. My parents showed me like some silent films, like some Charlie Chaplin films, Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton, and I just like loved it. And I remember my parents telling me, "Oh yeah, Charlie Chaplin, he wrote everything himself, he directed everything himself, and he produced everything himself." And I was like, that's so cool how you can make something like this beautiful art piece and story with essentially starting from nothing. And you just put things together. And I was just really enamored by that. I was probably like 7.
Wow. And you getting that serious filmography?
Yeah.
Early on?
Yeah, we watched a lot of old films and television in my house. A lot of Turner Classic Movies.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, a lot of Turner Classic movies.
I still do. I love Turner Classic movies. That's how I knew about Easter Parade, All About Eve.
Yeah.
I mean,
even Tootsie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of TV Land as well.
Yes. Shows. Nick at Night. I grew up on that.
Yeah, Nick at Night was so good.
What was one of your favorite shows from that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I love Lucy. I loved I Dream of Jeannie. The Brady Bunch. Yeah.
I don't ever watch that stuff anymore.
I don't either. And some of it I watch now. Even I was watching I Love Lucy and I was like, the men are so mean to their wives. Yeah. So a lot of it doesn't hold up. But that was my kind of introduction to film and television. So.
And I mean, I love that you were introduced to Buster Keaton and I mean Charlie Chaplin so early on. Can you remember like your earliest memory of a film, like the very first one, even if you were like 2 or 3? Just the image of it or anything.
I don't know what the first film I ever saw was, but my favorite movie when I was a kid was Peter Pan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would watch that. That was my daily watch.
Who was your favorite character?
Wendy.
Yeah. Everyone loves Wendy.
Yeah.
Or Tinkerbell.
Yeah. I love Tinkerbell too.
Yeah, I always wanted to just like go in the mirror and kind of just like,
Yeah, so that's probably my first movie. Oh. Or I liked anything with animals.
And so, do you still have a love for Peter Pan, even in live action play version of it?
Absolutely. I think the best one that I've seen, I haven't seen the most recent Peter Pan movie that came out, but
There's so many.
there's so many of them. But I really love the live action one that came out. I think it was 2001.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what as you were talking about. Like, I hope she's talking about the same
Yeah.
one I'm thinking of. I think I know which one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and because I love the book. My
Mm.
mom would read like classic fairy tales to my sister and I when we were kids, and so I loved the original book so much, and just the way that he described characters.
Right.
Like when he described Tinkerbell, he's like, she was so small. Fairies are so small that they only have room for one feeling at a time.
Mm.
And I just thought that was such a beautiful way of like describing different characters, and I think that movie was like did that the best.
Yeah.
And then Hook is so good.
Yeah, Hook is. That's the
I
classic.
will say I didn't appreciate Hook enough when I was a kid, but I
It's
watched
scary.
it as an adult, and I was like, this hits so much harder as an adult.
I think a lot of our films that we grew up when we turned into
Yeah.
adults were like, oh, Ariel. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Peter Pan. I actually was in a production of Peter Pan, so I got to play Mrs. Darling. Have you never got a chance to do it?
No.
Oh, in the
Let
future.
me tell you, because I wanted to be an actor so
Mhm.
bad and work in film so bad. I really wanted to do theater. I was homeschooled until high school, and then when I was in high school, I auditioned for every single play. They would not let me in a single one of the plays.
What were y'all thinking? Come on.
I know. They're wrong. It's okay.
You would have been a great Wendy. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually didn't do like a ton
Hmm.
of theater. I did like maybe a couple ensemble things when I was in like elementary
Yeah.
school. But that was it. So that's part of the reason why I didn't actually start acting until I was much older. Because I was like, okay, well, maybe, I can't do this.
And the thing is, we all have our start,
Yeah.
Like late bloomers, and I was a late bloomer too, because I didn't start. I had a love for it at 7 years old, probably even earlier than that, but I didn't start until I was like 14.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad.
No, I don't. I think it's also, part of being an actor, you have to have really thick skin. You face a lot of rejection. It's just
Absolutely.
part of it. So I
And
think that made me better at it,
And you should enter it when you're ready.
Yeah.
When you're ready, truly. Like you said, to have a thick skin, because you're going to need it. What movie genre is your favorite?
I love like really visually kind of beautiful and strange films. So like a lot of like art house films. Like one of my absolute favorites is Wonderwall.
Oh.
I just saw it this year.
I've heard
Incredible
about it.
movie. Incredible movie. Yeah, it came out in 1968. George Harrison and Eric Clapton did the music for it. It's got Jane Birkin, and it's so just like it's like watching a painting. And I love films like that. I love like stop motion and claymation films too. Like Blood Tea and Red String is an incredible film.
As you're talking, I'm like noting all
Yeah,
the different things I
yeah.
need to watch.
Give it a watch. It's
Are
so
you
good.
like an artist off to the side? Is
I
that
consider myself
Yeah,
an artist. I think acting is an art.
it is? It really is.
Yeah, and I think everybody views the world around them so uniquely, and so when you can translate that into a film, and somebody else can see the way that you see the world, I just think that's so beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check those movies out. Why do you think acting is an important art form?
Okay, when you're listening to music, like we all go through life kind of with, whatever pain or heaviness we have with us. And then like, let's say you hear a song and a certain chord strikes in a certain way, and for a second it like lifts in your chest, like your stomach drops and it lifts in your chest, and it gives whatever it is that you have a place to go for a second. And I think that when you're watching a film and you see like the look in an actor's eye where it's like, I feel that way too. I have a place for it to go. I have a place to like see it in action and relate to it. Like I feel seen by this. I think that's why.
I love how you use the analogy of music, because for me, the one song that does that for me is "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. That I don't care. I could be in the store. I heard it the other day. I was at a rehearsal and I was like, wait a minute, I just need to take a second. So is there a song that does that for you? Like
there's so many
Yeah.
songs that do that for me. I was listening to Hey Jude in the car.
Okay.
And I felt that way. But I've always loved music. I grew up playing the violin.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, music's always been very important to me.
Yeah, I think it really is important for actors. I really wish I had learned an instrument
Yeah.
other than the recorder.
You should now.
You know what? I really have been on that mood of trying to go in that direction. So thank you. That's just confirmation.
I'm learning the bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love, cause I like how, I want to say this. I follow you on Instagram and I get that sense like you kind of are like on the side rocker chick.
Oh,
I get that sense. There's obviously many sides to anybody.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh, there's another side of Sarah.
Yeah, I love music. I love going to shows. I just, again, it's that giving, whatever's on your heart, like a place to go.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What are the beautiful and the not so beautiful things about acting?
I think they go hand in hand. I think when I think of like what is not so beautiful about it, I think just the uncertainty can be challenging to go through. Like you don't know like what's gonna happen, when you're gonna book something, who you're gonna meet, are you gonna walk through the right doors? You just don't know. But I think that is also what's beautiful about it, is there's so much unknown and anything could happen. So I think it's kind of the same. It's just two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, there's beauty in the non-guaranteed. Yeah, I like that. What kind of movies do you want to do?
I would love to do, again, like I was talking about, the really like visually like just strange art house films. But I would also love to do rom-coms. I love a good classic rom-com. They're starting to like do more of them again now, which I love.
I used to get annoyed when people talk crap about rom-coms. Because I'm the reason Hallmark Channel still exists.
Yeah, and it's
like,
yes, there is, that one beautiful side of film where it's like, oh, like I'm feeling that, and, being seen by that and whatever I'm going through. But there's also just like, there's something so beautiful in being entertained, to be entertained, to forget your worries,
Absolutely.
Just to enjoy and like see the lightness in life again.
So what has been the best and worst acting experience you have ever had?
Oof. Best experience. I just did there's so many good ones, but I just did it's like one of those vertical soap operas. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I just did one of those and it was so much fun. Nice. It's so fast paced. I mean, we were there for like 12, 13 hours every single day. Yes. And it was like go, like getting pulled from like makeup to okay, and now we're gonna rehearse and then back to wardrobe, and it's so fast. But it was so much fun. Like I really walked away from that set being like, wow, I really, really love.
And now you're ready to join General Hospital.
Oh, I would love to.
Me too.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, people would actually start in the soap opera game and then kind of go from there. I'm sure people still can build their careers off of that, but it seems like there's like only 4 soap operas that are major on prime time right now, and so it's like, it's kind of sad that it's a dying genre. I know. I would love to. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any experience is an opportunity, right?
Absolutely. So. Yeah, and you, I really do feel like it's an incredible way to just like hone in your skills, because you have to move so quickly, and you only get a couple takes.
Right. Because they have to move on.
Film so much.
Yeah.
So it really, really is just like jumping into the deep end, and being ready to be on top of things.
And I've heard you have to be like really good at memorization.
You do, yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot every single day.
And I'm pretty good at that, but I feel like you said, it would help me technically to learn how to be even better at memorization.
Yeah, I mean, it's a muscle.
Yeah, it is.
It's a muscle. I used to have a really, really hard time with memorization, and now I'm pretty quick with it.
It's hard sometimes. It really is. Have you ever wanted to quit?
I've never wanted to quit since I decided I was going to be pursuing it. And when I decided that I was going to pursue it, since I had been something I wanted to do for so long, and just I was scared to start, so I kind of tried, everything else. I was like, can I be happy doing this? Can I be happy doing this? And I just couldn't. So once I finally was like, okay, I want to be an actor and I have to come to terms with that, I very much had the attitude of, I don't really care how long it takes.
I love
then
that.
I know that this is what I want to do. So I haven't wanted to quit. I have had times where I felt like I needed to take a little bit of a breather. But I've never felt like I'm not going to come back to this. Like, I'm done. I just
If you don't mind me asking, when did you start? How long have you been doing it?
I started acting in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, so really, really not all that long ago. And I was working at Disney, but I was also working at an office job. And I was just, it was a great job, great company. I was working at Make-A-Wish, just amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I wasn't happy being in an office every single day. And I developed like really, really bad anxiety, and I was just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, which was a lie. And I was married at the time, and my ex-husband was like, I think you want to be an actor. And I was like, no, I don't. To me, I just like, I don't know, it felt almost, I had this idea in my head that it was somehow like vain to think like, oh, I could do that. And he was very much like the person to like encourage me in that, which I'm really, really grateful for. And then I had a near-death experience, and I almost drowned. And as that was happening, I was like, if I live, like, I want to be an actor. I need to like do that. And I like prayed. I was like, if I see another day, like, I'm going to start doing this, like what I've, truly always had on my heart. And so then I quit my office job, and I had a friend who was an actor, so I asked her, like, hey, do you know any good acting classes? And she really helped me a lot. She like sat down with me, and she was like, okay, this is what you have to do. This is, how to get like your headshots and where to find auditions. And she really, really helped me. And so, but yeah, ever since that moment, I was very much just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it might take a long time, but I feel really compelled to do that.
Wow.
So.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm sorry. That's just beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love your attitude on that, because I've always had that mindset too. Praise God that you're still here. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here.
Yeah.
I've always had that mindset of, I know it might take a long time, and other people might be looking at me like I'm crazy that I'm still pursuing this, but this is something I've wanted to do, and I finally put the energy. And sometimes I do have to sit down and have to have a hiatus, kind of talk to myself and God and be like, what do we need to do? Do I need to ask and humble myself to get answers from other people who know more than I do, so that I can, sort of redirect? Because sometimes you have to do a lot of redirecting in this pursuit.
Yeah, and you have to be very mentally like strong and sound, and have a really strong sense of self. So in some ways, I am glad that I started later, because I also had a lot more life experience to draw from. I was like, okay, I've known so many different people, I've experienced so many different things, and to portray that, in film or on screen, can be a gift back.
And I love that you had people who surrounded themselves to help you, because that is so essential.
Yes.
I also want to ask, did you ever feel like your job was sort of like a distraction from you realizing your true love?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think in my inner subconscious, it was purposeful. I had this very strong false belief that it was almost selfish to think like, oh, this is something that I could do, which I don't believe is true anymore. But at the time, I had this belief that it was selfish or vain of me to want to do the things that I wanted to do. And so I very much was blocking that out, and like, okay, well, maybe I can find like something else,
right,
that will fulfill me, and that I think I can deem as like an okay or acceptable like thing to want to do with my life.
Because our side jobs can really become, like other people I've talked to, in the previous season, they've said that their side jobs were like distractions, truly, because they know they need to work and make money to pay the bills, but that's not what's going to ultimately fulfill them.
Yeah.
So then they forget why they're out here initially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You know the life of the actor.
Yes.
What project did you feel has really helped your career?
I think that Darman, the web series that I do, has really, really helped me a lot in two different ways. The first way being just being on set regularly, because it's so different than being like in class. Class is amazing, but being actually on set and being like, okay, here's my script the night before, I have to memorize this, I have to get on set and like do what I gotta do. I only get a couple takes, and being able to then watch it back and see myself and say, okay, like what would I do differently, or because everything changes once it's on the camera.
Yes.
So that has been a huge help just in working the muscle and getting used to being on set working. And it's also really cool because I play a different character in every episode.
Nice.
It's not like I'm playing just one character through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Each episode is like a standalone short film, essentially. So I've gotten to play so many different characters and like work those different muscles. Like, okay, how am I gonna approach this character? Is there someone that I've known that reminds me of them, or is there parts of them that I resonate with? So that's been a huge help. And then also, because that show has such a big fan base, it's been so encouraging to have people interested and invested in the work that I'm doing and encouraging me and being like, oh, I loved your episode, or just reaching out to say that they enjoy the things that I'm doing, or that the episode that they watched like brought them joy in their day. It's been a huge encouragement that has helped me keep going. Like, okay, someone like sees what I'm doing and they like it. It means something to them. It would be really, really hard to keep going in this capacity if I didn't see that it meant something to someone.
Right.
So that has been huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
And congratulations again on that.
Thank you.
You
It's
know,
really fun.
It's good when we book,
Yeah.
We get real happy when we book.
Yes, we do.
We just do. Are you a California native?
I am.
Yes.
I grew up in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
So yeah.
I love Costa Mesa. It's really nice. I like Orange County. You know, there's some beautiful parts to it. I don't know why people always want to say negative things about it. I think it's beautiful. And it's very rare that somebody's actually from California.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, and people are always like, oh, well, didn't you know people who were in the film industry when you were growing up? But I didn't. Again, I was homeschooled, so it was very much just like me and my sister and my mom and dad. And
it's not like a lot of people in the industry are like, I'm in the industry. Like, they're not advertising that,
no,
so how would you know?
And it's Costa Mesa, like,
yeah.
It's not Hollywood. I do not
love you, Costa Mesa. Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people have lived here for a long time, they become jaded. Do you still find yourself dreaming?
Yeah, I do. I do. There's so much that I still want to do. I would like to make my own films. There's so many other types of films that I want to do. I still have so many dreams. I feel like I'm only just starting and scratching the surface. So
it's just crazy to me that you started in 2018. I thought you were already doing it so long.
No. I just started late and came out at full force.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like, you're doing it. Obviously, you're doing something right. Like, and one thing one of my teachers told me was enjoy your own actor's journey. And I was even thinking about that yesterday. I was like, do I enjoy my journey? And I was like, I do. There's been things I wish was different, but everybody has things that they wish was different. Like, oh, I wish I had booked that, because maybe I'd be here. But you have to enjoy your own actor's journey. And sometimes your journey will be quicker. And it might stop for a minute and then it'll go back again. It has moments. You know?
I think you have to still dream and stay hopeful. And I think it's a really brave thing to do, to dream and have hopes for yourself. It's scary because you could get let down. But I think it's sadder to not have hopes and dreams. But I do think that a lot of people fall into that, to being scared to, admit what their dreams are. I definitely was. To keep dreaming, to say that they want to do big things. And it's a brave thing.
And for me, like, I've heard dreaming or the term dreamer in a negative sense. Have you ever heard that in a negative sense? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're a dreamer.
Yeah, I've been called a dreamer in a negative sense, definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like you said, I think it's people who maybe they don't know, but maybe they have given up on their dreams.
Yeah.
You know, and they think that anybody that's out there trying to pursue it, that it's nonsensical.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, actors are dreamers. I'm sorry, this is what we are.
Artists are dreamers.
Artists are dreamers. What's been your best audition to date?
Oh,
Because auditioning is part of the game.
auditioning is part of the game. I would say this is kind of a strange audition. It wasn't a strange audition, but the experience itself was. I was going through a really, really hard time. I was going through a really painful breakup. I was going through a death in the family, and I hadn't slept in probably like 2 days. I was just really like not in a good place. But I got this audition, and it was an in-person audition, which are rare these days. But I like in-person auditions.
Me too.
So much better.
I like them better than Zoom auditions.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it was for the same day. It was like this afternoon, so like in a couple hours. And I was like, oh man, like I gotta.
Yeah, man, no chance to prep.
No chance to prep. It was a really intense scene. It was for this film. I did book it.
Yes.
I did. It was for the film Rose. It was a short film.
Okay.
It was a 14-minute one take. Really, really crazy. But it was so cool. But the audition, the scene was a fight with my partner. And I'm doing Russian roulette with a revolver. And it's like screaming, you know, very, very intense. And I think that if I hadn't been in the place where I was, where I was so just like frazzled out of my mind, felt like I was falling apart in that moment. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna show up. There's not really time to prep. I feel the way that I feel. I don't have anything to bring with me except myself. And at that point, I felt so just cracked open that I showed up and met the director, and we just like kind of connected instantly because I was in such an open place.
Right.
And the audition went really, really well because I was so, my soul was so bare in that moment, and that was all I had to bring to it, and that was exactly what the moment called for. So it kind of worked out in this really beautiful place, and I think that's kind of the key in any audition, not to be in a terrible mental state, but to be in a place where you just you're open, and your heart is open, and your soul is open, and you're showing up as yourself
because it's authentic.
That's all we really ever can bring to the table is just our true authentic selves.
Yeah,
I would say that was my best audition, and it ended up being probably the piece in my resume that I'm most proud of to date.
Nice.
I love that film. It turned out really beautifully.
Congrats on booking it, you know.
Thank you.
That's why you like it so much.
Yeah.
You like that audition.
Yeah.
Hey, walk away with a job. I know that's right. How important is respect to you?
It's very important. I think it's really, really important to in the particular sense of acting, respecting the vision of what a project is, showing up and treating everybody with respect, right? We're all there, yes, to do our jobs, and I just don't think there's ever any need for anything other than total respect. We're all artists, we're all people.
Yes.
And everybody deserves to be treated with the utmost respect.
I agree.
That's
the crew included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the best. The crew is always the best.
They really are.
Yeah, they make it. They're there for you. They have your back. Like
They have really good stories too.
Yeah, great stories.
Like, the different people they've worked with. I'm like, what? Yeah. I love the crew. That's the people you should definitely talk to. Have you ever been taken on an acting job and you did it just for the money?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. So many times. Of course, you hope it's something that you love. And there have been things where I took it on and I was like, I don't know, but whatever, I'll do it. And I ended up loving the project and how it turned out. So there are those, and then there are some things where it's like a print job for a sofa company. I'm like that passionate about sofa. I do love interior design, but sometimes it's a paycheck and that's okay. And I think it's still really exciting to be able to be doing the job that you love and showing up, and I'm making my money with being an actress, whether I'm super passionate about this, ad or not. Like, I'm passionate about the life that I'm living doing it. So I'm happy to do those things. Yeah.
You've talked about the sort of films that you want to do in the future. Is there any directors or any particular actors that you want to work with in the future?
I would love to work with the director, Anna Biller. I don't know if you've seen her work. She did The Love Witch, Viva. She makes these really, really cool, like, the films look like they came out of the 70s.
Oh, wow. And that is like a particular time.
Yeah, a very particular time.
Yeah, you can tell, like you said, you can tell when you see a 70s film. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and I know that she does a lot of like the set design and stuff herself. Like I was talking with one of the actors who was in one of her films, and he was saying how like there's this really beautiful shot where she's like laying on this rug, and he's like she made that rug herself because she wanted it to be something very specific. So yeah, I would love to work with her one day.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully she listens to this.
That would be amazing.
Have you ever compromised yourself, or made decisions stalled your career?
That's a tricky question. I can't think of a particular time when I've compromised myself. I think in general I'm very confident in saying no to things I'm uncomfortable with. I'm not afraid to say no to things or projects that don't align with me. So I'm pretty good about that. But in making decisions that stalled me, I don't know, that's tricky, because the only thing I can really think of is when I'm like, okay, I need a little break from like auditioning. Taking a couple months break. Maybe that stalled me, but maybe that is a good thing to maybe that was a healthy thing to do, and you can't really know. So I don't ever like to look at any choice that I've made as like, oh, that held me back, because I don't really believe that. I think what's meant to be ours is ours, and I choose to believe that we can't really do anything to mess that up as long as we're following, our convictions. So, and it's easier to believe that, right?
Yeah.
That, like, okay, well, it's gonna work out, and I think it's better for me to believe that. So yeah, I don't really like to look back and say like, oh, this stalled me or ruined anything in my life.
I like that mindset. I really do. It's taken me a while to get to that mindset, but I love that.
Things happen the way that they're meant to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Last question, Sarah.
Okay.
This is a tough one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you like yourself?
I do like myself, and it is so hard. It is so much work.
I don't think your work. I was not into that. I don't think your work.
No, but it's work. We're our own harshest critics. Yes. And we also live in a society that profits off of us not liking ourselves.
Can you say that again, please?
We live in a society that profits off of us not liking ourselves. So there's a lot of negative voices to fight. And I have to make a concentrated effort to do that every day, whether it's like stopping myself when I'm having a negative thought and replacing it with something more positive. There's positive self-talk. I do my affirmations, which can feel silly, but they really do help. They really do help. And surrounding yourself with people who also think, positively and encouraging. And yeah, it's work to like yourself. Keeping promises to yourself that you make, I think, is huge for that, which can be hard because someone's like, okay, I'm going to do this every day. But then in the moment, you're like, oh, I just want to lay in bed. But that's not going to make me feel better. So yeah, it's a lot of work to like yourself, but I do like myself.
I like you too, Sarah.
I like
Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me.
Yes.
Got to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on About That Life. Bye.